cosmetologist and cosmetology educator for the last 12 years. You can just give everybody one of these for me if you don't mind. And this is what I do every day. I teach every single day. My career has included teaching in front of students and going into the salon for the last 12 years. And I actually can say there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about doing exactly what I love to do. There's some people in this room that may have just started, or you can give me extra, it's fine. There's some people in the room that may have been doing this maybe around the same amount of time that I have been doing it. And of course, there's some people in the room that have been doing this far longer than I could have ever possibly imagined. However, as Dr. Franklin shared, times do continuously change. And it's totally up to you on where you find yourself at in the industry. Just because times change, we don't always have to change with the times. I know that may seem like a contradictory statement. However, everything that you do and what it is that you have to provide to offer, somebody will love what it is that you have to offer. I promise you they will. So you don't have to feel like you have to stay in such a competitive state with everything that's going on around you and everything that's time changed. Because shit, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I can't afford to change with the way every day the times change. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Some of y'all may have it like that, but I'm gonna keep it real with you, I don't. So if you try to stick with the way that the world changes every day, you may lose the reasoning on why you actually started doing what you're doing. I don't know what was your reason for starting off in this industry, and I don't really know what's going to be your motivation to actually stay in the industry. But I hope that by the time that I'm actually finished, that it's something that I've said or shared with you along the way to be able to help you identify who you are, what you want to do, why you want to do it, and when you actually want to do it. Because sometimes, I'm sure, especially for the people that may be on the younger side, and I don't want to offend anybody in the room, so before people may say, oh, it's not that, it's just that, again, I know that I'm at a place in my life where I really had to understand and accept the way that technology was moving so fast. I was raised by an older family, older people rather, and growing up in a world where times are totally changing from what things were in the 50s and 60s. So things are totally not the same. And so for me, in my mind, I'm like, look, I ain't got time to be getting on no social media, got time to be doing this, but now I find myself, my eyes stay glued to it, that I can't get away to be able to stay away from it. And so then now you have to try to figure out, okay, what's the balance? Where do you fit in a world where people feel you have to stand and rise to certain stigmas? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. You may see some people where it look like, let's say somebody that and I'm not gonna throw no names out here, but let's just say somebody that you love, you admire, you look up to them on social media, and you may have just started following them, let's say today. And over the next six months to a year, it appears that their level of fame has risen to something that actually inspired and motivated you. However, you never done your research and homework on this person and realize that this person has actually been putting in the work for the last 4 or 5 years. So at this point, they do deserve that opportunity for their level of success or whatever to be able to have risen to a certain point. And so then it comes back in, okay, what is it in your life at that moment that can give you the ability to be able to put in the time that they've put in? Because some of us have extra factors where we see these particular people and it's like, dang, it surely would be cool to be able to have whatever it is that they have. But again, right now it's only because we're looking on the outside and we don't really know exactly what's going on the inside. Yeah. But if you be honest, you're looking at them because there's something about them that they're portraying that makes you feel like you want what it is that they have. Can everybody agree to that? Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought it was only me. But I know that I see some people. Again, the industry has provided so many opportunities for me. That's why I'm still in it. And I wake up every day wanting to be able to motivate those people that I teach every day to go way further than me. I tell a lot of people all the time, my plan has always been, maybe for the last 6 or 7 years into this, to retire by the time I'm 40. But for me, I feel like I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish for me. Your level and expectations of life may be totally different. I never aspired to be a millionaire. I did not. Because I always thought about, what if I really was to become a millionaire? Would I really change? And honestly, I love who I am. Some of y'all may love who you are, some of y'all may not love who you are, but I love who I am. And I feel like I don't want the money to be able to change who I am, because people can say what they won't do.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever reached that point to know what it is that you would or you wouldn't do?
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't gotten there, you can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, all I did, I just wanted to be able to live life, and whatever happens, happens. And so I've had the opportunity to be able to teach people, and they come back and say, hey, Miss Lowe, you know, oh, I did this, or I did that. And that makes me feel really good, because you know what? I don't have to have $1 million tangible dollars. It's all of the millions of things that come back to me for what I've poured into other people. And so what I'm hoping is that you can figure out, know who you are, right? Know why you started doing what it is that you do. So I'm gonna do a survey real quick. You licensed? So have you in school? In school. Why did you go to beauty school? What was the reason that you decided to go to beauty school?
I just grew up around here, and I just feel like if I can make someone feel special about themselves, then it's
Okay, so if anybody didn't hear what she said, I'm sure y'all did, she speak like really, really low. She said she grew up around people that were already in the industry, so that was part of her motivation for her, right? So why did you start, like, what was the thing for you to get into the industry? Yes, ma'am.
I just always stay creative. I'm always a creative, always like comb my nose hair and just look at it as a creative outlet. So you're going to school for the kind of person that I'm entering my like standing behind the chair, but now with me going to school and networking, I see there's so much more, and I'm ready to kind of like delve into something.
Okay, what about you? Yeah, you right there. You're in school right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you decide you wanted to go to school?
Because my mom, my sister, everybody did that, and I love coloring, and I want to get
You want to be a colorist? Okay, go ahead. You want to share?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I do not want to clock in no more.
Okay.
I want to be my own boss. I want to create my own space. So I don't want to clock in to other folks.
Okay. So I'm sure her thing was that she didn't want to have to get up and go clock in for nobody no more.
But myself.
But question. I mean, because listen, I'm a realist, and I'm such an analytical person, and I really tear things down to the most minute piece of whatever, right?
Right.
So when people say that, because I used to say the same thing, and I'm gonna share with y'all, the industry actually chose me. I promise you I didn't choose the industry, but I'm getting somewhere with this in just a little bit. Do we not clock in for our clients?
Yes.
So we're still clocking in for somebody, so we haven't reached that point to where we feel like we can't clock in. So now, however, because if you don't clock in for them, you're gonna be clocking in for somebody else. So until we reach that point to where we feel like we just have arrived, we're gonna still be clocking in for somebody.
We got that already.
So,
We got that.
because at the end of the day, if anybody here just exclusively does hair or does makeup or anything exclusive to the beauty industry, like you don't work at a gas station, you're not a nurse, because they have a lot of stylists that are nurses. No, just straight up exclusive stylists. Well, yeah, when you do nothing else besides get up and go to your salon or to a salon. Okay, so if you don't go to the salon today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you make any money today?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So when we get up and go to the salon, the only way in order for us to make money is if we get up and we actually get to the salon.
That's
So the
it.
same thing. So we're still clocking in for somebody, whether we look at it that way or not. However, do you feel that it's important for you to go the extra mile for your clients?
Yeah.
We do it every day.
My point exactly. So again, that goes back to say that if we ain't punching somebody's clock, we still punching the clock. You understand what I'm saying? But everybody's reasoning for why you do what you do is totally different, right? So when I say that the industry chose me, it really did. I stand before you a person that, if you know me, there's some people in the room that actually know me. I had to figure out a way to channel this, it's out right here because it was very, very bad at one point in time. I didn't want you to tell me nothing. I had it all together. I had all the answers because guess what? Baby, I grew up at 12 raising children. You couldn't tell me nothing. The oldest of all the children that lived in my house, so I felt like I had it all together because guess what? I felt like my mama wasn't doing the job, but this, me, growing up, 12-year-old thinking I had it all work, got a little bit older still thinking that I have everything together. And graduating high school, I graduated with my oldest son. I was pregnant with my oldest son. And I'm like, okay, girl, you got to get it together. So something happened along the way to make me feel like, okay, got to get it together. Everybody's like, oh, go to college. College is the greatest way to go to college. I stand before anybody now. I tell my students right now, I have the privilege of teaching high school students. I do not encourage them to go to college right after high school. Sorry for those people that still feel that way, but if they can graduate with their license, I need them to really try to figure it out because from day of graduation to the next day after graduation, you have just arrived to adulthood. There's no buffer in life that gives you the roadmap to actually how to live life. There isn't any. So, okay, I'm trying to navigate. I went on to college, still pregnant. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Was trying to figure it out. Guess what? I flunked every single class that I had. I had 12 hours. In college is based upon hours. I flunked every class that I had, even freshman assembly. So I wasn't ready. Yeah, that's because I really wasn't going. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I say the industry actually chose me. So now I'm at this point, okay, well, I done got these people money because everybody was saying, oh, go to college, girl, you're going to get that refund. They're still a loan. So that's another part that they didn't explain to me that, yeah, they was going to give me all the money that I signed my name for. But nobody really explained to me that I had to pay it back. Okay, so yeah, that's because hey, I got this little baby on the way. I need to have some money. You gotta have some kind of money to be able to take care of it, right? So I'm trying to figure out, all right, how do I figure this out? But I still got this bad mouth right here that you can't tell me nothing because I have it all together. So after, of course, running into a brick wall a couple of times, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna go to beauty school because I need to. Like, look, it's like she said, I'm not about to keep clocking in for nobody. But at this point, it ain't like I had worked a whole lot of jobs. I wasn't number 18, So at this point, but I'm like, all right, yeah, so I have it. I got it. It's like, nobody's not about to keep telling me nothing. But the reality of it is, in order for us to continuously grow in life, we have to be open to somebody telling us something. And that's what nobody never really took me back and actually set me down. However, I enrolled into a school called Stevenson's Academy, which is located in New Orleans. I went there, was the best experience in my entire life. They helped shape me and mold me into the young woman that I am today, at the time or whatever, woman, however you want to look at it, don't really matter. But it helped mold me into who I am today. One day I was in school, and I was on the phone with Energy. So Energy is the people that provides our electricity at home. Energy is having those same issues still 12 years later. I don't remember exactly what happened, but something with the lights and my bill was just like ridiculously high. But remember, I'm still 18. I ain't really figured out, but I have a little job. I'm trying to pay my little bills, and now the bill is like $20 more than what it was. They done lost their mind. So I'm on the phone, and I'm in the hallway at the school. I'm like, I'm like literally probably every derogatory term that you can think of, I was using it. So the owner of the school stopped me and was like, Miss Lewis, what's going on? He pulled me to the side and started talking to me, and we had a little conversation that was basically like a come to Jesus moment. But while I was in school, I was really focused and determined because I needed to finish. And I had perfect attendance, and I had an A average. So the school actually gave me a scholarship to go back for instructor's training. And so that's how my my career has been in the school and actually teaching in the school teaching and actually doing hair in the evening. So that's how I say the industry actually chose me. So when I figured out, I was like, oh my God, I'm rolling. Who can't tell me nothing. Now I'm like, I'm a young teacher. Like, yeah, I really got it going. I'm like, 19, 20 at this point. Got my first job, and I was really heartbroken because the school didn't give me a job, and I felt like y'all didn't give me this scholarship and all of this, and now y'all don't want to give me a job to work for y'all. But then I had to also think about, they seen something in you, but that something hadn't really flourished to where they wanted you to be at yet. So that's why they didn't give your ass a job. Okay? Still to this day, and I had to share with them that I'm upset with y'all because y'all did not give me a job because I felt like I had it going on, right? Yeah, I really did, but I explained that to them because now I'm at a point of adulthood to where I'm actually able to communicate a little bit better and let you know how I feel and why I feel the way that I feel, and we can agree to disagree, or we can just totally disagree, period, and it is what it is. And but that what I'm saying is I had to let them know how I felt, but I also let them know that without them, I wouldn't be, or I don't feel like I would be where I am today. So I'm hoping that along the way, you find why you do what you do. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. Like I knew it was something in me that had a bigger reason on why I was doing it. I just didn't really feel like I'm not about to go to school for 4 years and be in all of this debt for what? And then it was like really cool. I only went to school. The program was 6 months. I finished in 3, and I was making the same amount of money that a teacher made going to school. So it just made so much sense to me at the time. But now I definitely can say that I absolutely love it. And so now what I do is on a daily basis is really help other people figure out why they're doing what it is that they're doing. Because each and every single last one of us in this room, we have a purpose behind what it is that we do. So whenever you get to that point in your life and you feel like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more, you know, because I'm telling you, there are days where some of us have phenomenal days. And then there's some days where some of us, you know, it's kind of hit or miss. Then there are some of us that just like don't have nothing going on, and we like, I just want to give up. What I will tell you is that there are people in this industry, maybe many of you in this room, that have surpassed 6-figure income earning, where you are actually doing what it is that you really love to do. And for those of you that have not reached that point yet, please know that everybody that you see in this room, we all have to get older. We cannot do what we do today 5 years ago. Right. It doesn't work that way. Right. So don't ever get to a point to where you feel like, oh, well, they doing it better than me. Who cares? Who cares? They have people like with me being an educator, my focus is hair care. I'm sorry. I am hair care. Hair care. I don't care. I will view hair care. I don't want to do weaves, and I do them. I don't want to do no lace fronts. I don't want to do that. And I'm okay with that. I don't even want to do short hair. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to do short hair. Because when I was in school, you do what the school get all the time. So when I got out of school, I was like, they made me so terrified of doing short hair. I'm just like, I just never tapped into it. And I feel like we have to really be honest about it, because people say, oh, well, I didn't learn this in school. So a lot of things I didn't learn in school, but if I felt like I didn't get everything I needed in school, I took classes like this, whether they were big or small, right? We can all agree and say that's right, but I have taught hundreds of students over my 12 years of being an educator, and it's unfortunate of the numbers of people who are no longer in the industry. And that's disheartening for me, because we can sit up here and say, oh, we love it, we this, we that. But then when do we go back and reach back to the people who have actually lost their motivation for why they started doing what they're doing? I teach so many talented in the natural talent. I can never take credit for the natural talent that they have. What Tana is showing you, like she said that, you know, because in school, and I understood what the lady was asking in school, we do teach you the ways have to connect. Because I be looking at people's stuff, look, it's supposed to be an open end to the shaping. The shape is, and I'm like, okay, you have to have an eye for doing this. Not everybody has an eye to style hair. And I think we need to figure out what we're good at instead of trying to be like everybody else. I don't want to lay the greatest frontal. I can do some fire waves, but in my mind, because in school we were taught a certain way, I fight all day trying to do waves. Waves still come out good. And I'm like what she said, you can't use no gel to do that. But in school we use gel. So in my mind, when I first started doing it, I'm like, look, you have to use gel. No, baby, you need to get with people who know what they're doing so they can show you a different way of actually doing it. So that's why with my students, I bring people in, because it's a way. And that's one of the hardest things as an educator. And I find that, and I've taught at a lot of schools, and I've challenged myself to go to different schools with different people that don't even look like me, because I need to be well versed. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down, I can do hair that grows out of your head. I can do it. Even if it's a wig, I can do it. However, you want to make sure that you train your students to be well versed, because I don't know what you may be interested in. I'm not the greatest face beater, but I can teach you how to do a basic foundation of makeup. However, you want to be that person to beat the faces? Guess what? I know people who can beat faces. I'm going to get them to come on in and give you that advanced training that you need. But we have schools that don't do that. And usually whatever the teacher is most comfortable with teaching, that's what we leave school only learning how to do. And now kids are paying $20,000 for a beauty school education. I'm sorry, I paid 10 and that was a lot of money back then. And when I left there, I really wanted to understand how to color. And now you can't tell me nothing about chemicals and coloring and none of that, because I went and invested more money to figure out, to understand, because I felt like as an educator, I needed my students again to be well versed and be the great people that they say that they aspire to be. Because people, whoever the person is in front of the class teaching, they're teaching us something for us to be able to gain added knowledge on something that we may know, but then on something that we really may not know. Because I can't tell her as the hairstylist, no, the waves do go like this. But if you understand, she's telling you this, because even when they do that, they're setting the style in place to actually go back and actually finish the style. But if you have no vision when you first start and you only go off of what you are taught in the book, then you're going to be lost as two left shoes.
Right.
So it's really about definitely networking and connecting with other people that you see in other places. I don't care who they are, how well you, some people may have very ugly attitudes, but if you don't get out there and go and actually introduce yourself to them, you'll never know what it is that they can actually offer you.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and let Tana get started, finish, or actually finish. But for those of you know why you started doing what you're doing, identify who you are and be okay with who it is that you actually are, because you have something different to offer every single person that's